Judges, the book of Judges, chapter 6, verse 11. The theme this morning is the might of yours. This is part 4 in this series about Gideon. This is part 4. The Lord is with you was last week's theme. Was part 3. The Lord is with you. And now it's about the might of yours, referring to the Israelites. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, it is with gratitude, and we can't thank you enough, Lord, that when we fall into sin, you forgive us over and over again. Thank you that we can have faith in you. Now it's time to hear your word, Lord. May the people here open their hearts, their minds, to take in your message, to receive it, not just allow it to come in and go back out again. No, this is to be received and to be kept, Lord, for might that comes from it. Lord, we talked about the theme, Lord with you, last week, referring to the Israelites. That they be open to him. That they were dwelling on their old problems at times, but the Lord was telling them that no, that the hope is within him, that Gideon believed. And through prayer, the Lord showed Gideon what to do. Lord, thank you that these are your words. Use my hands. We pray for the voice interpreter, that the message be clear, that everyone understands hears your word. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, in the book of Judges, chapter 6, verse 11. And there came an angel of the Lord. Oh, right there. It says, angel of the Lord. Who is that? Is it an angel of God? Oh, they're referring to Jesus. That's right, you were correct. Through the New and the Old Testament, as I researched, not Greek, but Hebrew research, the angel of the Lord came to Gideon, and that was Jesus. But this was in the Old Testament. This is called pre-earth. But you can see that there's nothing that says that this is Jesus. It's called the angel of the Lord, or the Lord's coming. But it's clearly that they're referring to Jesus. And he was given birth through a holy conception.
Right.
But this is through Gideon's prayer that this occurred. As you'll recall, the Midianites son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it. I want to give some explanation here. Because he was hiding it from the Midianites, who had conquered the land from Israel and were worshiping idols. Basically, they had taken over and occupied Israel. And there was much suffering of the Israelites. And there wasn't a lot of product for the Israelites to eat. And so the Israelites had been farming. And at time of harvest, they were going to reap what they had sown. But the Midianites took every bit of it. They didn't care that they didn't plant it and work for it themselves. And so that's why Gideon had this wheat that he was threshing. And so he was, I believe it was at night, so that no one would see him. He was trying to give some sort of food for the Israelites. And the winepress is where they made wine. There were these huge vats. And perhaps they stomped them with their feet, or they had a plunger or some sort of mechanism. But he was there at the winepress threshing the wheat, which is not a place where you would normally do that. But because he was hiding from the Midianites, what he was doing. It's like communism, really. When you think about Russia during their time of great, and also in China, you had to do things in secret. Otherwise, the government would take it from you. Because there was no way to defeat this great many Midianites who had completely taken over. And so there came the angel of the Lord. And so the Gideon and the Israelites felt like they had been oppressed to the point of suffrage. And they were humiliated after what all the Midianites had done to them. Even though it was their money, it was their product. They were suffering, but they were very angry. They felt completely lost and worthless. But it was all because of their sin. They had rebelled against the Lord and turned from him and his ways. But yet here Gideon was approached by the angel of the Lord. It reads in verse 12, "And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, The Lord is with thee." Wow. Now, this angel of the Lord, remember, we're referring to Jesus, that came to Gideon and said, "The Lord is with thee." Do you notice the word? It says, "Thou mighty man of valor," referring to a very brave and courageous Gideon. Thou mighty man of valor. refers to someone of great courage. During a time of war, they would run headfirst into battle. That is a man of valor who had such courage. So during battle, in the midst of it all, I mean, really, he didn't have a lot of power, but yet he worked hard and tirelessly, even though he was impoverished. Did they have SSI back then? No, they didn't. They had to, all he did was he had this little bit of wheat. He didn't have luxuries, but he was a man of God. And the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Yet there was no proof of that. But Gideon was, can you imagine him being so astonished and astounded, looking around thinking, like, wow. It's like someone who's in the service, who's done something courageous that deserved all these medals. And their chests would be covered with medals. And he's looking around thinking, me? You're talking to me? Or you're talking to someone else? Like, you must be referring to them. And let's look at verse 13. And Gideon said unto him, Oh, my Lord. So straight out of Gideon's mouth, oh my Lord, if it says, so that yes, I agree, there might have been a little doubt there. If the Lord be with us, why then is all of this befallen us? Why have we lost so much? Why have we been taken over? Israel was no more for its people. And where be all his miracles, which our fathers told us of, saying, so they knew from the stories that had been passed down generationally, that they had been brought out of the bondage of Egypt, yet they felt forsaken. That's the way they felt, because they weren't being blessed at the time. And Gideon didn't understand what was going on. That's why he was questioning. Of course, it was sin. They lost their blessing. But look here, it says, why, Lord, have you forsaken us? Maybe you felt that way as well. Me too at times. Sometimes we do feel that way. And you feel like the Lord hasn't heard your prayer because of all the problems in your life. Perhaps you've got financial troubles. lead the Israelites, all the people against the Midianites, and that the Israel will be taken from the hands of the Midianites, that we will trounce them. That really threw him off his game. He wasn't understanding how that could be. Verse 15. And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith? And he said, wait a minute. Look at all the training that these Midianite warriors have. They must have had 100,000 or more, but yet the Israelites were a small number. He said, wherewith shall I save Israel? It's as though he said, wait a minute. Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh. It's a city. And I am the least in my father's house. The word least, meaning they weren't a family of prominence. And he was the least of his family. I know it's close to the election now. Donald Trump's family, when you look at his children, oh, people know who they are. They're famous. And when you look at Hillary Clinton, Hillary Bill and their Chelsea, their daughter, they're famous as well. And you look at the children of both of their families and people know them. They're of prominence. And Gideon is saying, my family's not prominent. And not only do people don't know them, they don't know me. And so there was a level of embarrassment there for Gideon, thinking, I'm going to be the leader. Gideon could have had family members that had been in prison for illegal things or whatever. You just don't know what it was like. But he felt like he was of lowly status within the community. But guess what?
Shocked.
You'd be shocked. I'm going to tell you a story. It's pretty brief. In my family lineage, there's a lot that went on that's embarrassing in my past. Did you know that? So I'm going to tell you a story about my great-grandfather on my dad's mother, his father, his great-grandfather, got into a fight in a bar. I don't know how it happened, but he was killed. This was like 1920, no, hold on. My grandmother was born in 1915. I believe 1915 something. So maybe 1910 or so. Here in Georgia. I know my family's from Florida, but he lived in Georgia. Between Savannah and Macon. I believe it's Highway 16. It's right in the middle, just south of there. That's where my family, I had a large family population there. about being saved and being transformed in your life, never being the same, forgetting about the past. But look at my family heritage, yet I'm a preacher and I'm deaf. I'm not being boastful here. Look at the church though. Look at this building. I depend on the Lord. When I lived in Atlanta, I thought, I love Florida. I'm going to live there forever. I love the beach. And I love being around close to Disney World. I really enjoy that. But the Lord has moved me to be a preacher in different places. I know I'm going to tell you one more story. I don't think I've ever told you. My mom, she said, you're never going to be a preacher. How are you going to be supported? How are you going to live? How are you going to support your family? You got to get a real job. And I'm not being negative about being deaf or anything, but my uncle's a Baptist preacher. He has a small church and he works full time. And I saw that in him. Now, if you are a pastor in a larger church, you can live just on that one salary, but I saw him. And in the 80s, I was exposed to a few deaf churches, but now there's so much more that I have seen within the deaf community. And so my mom later came to me and she told me, she said, I'm proud of you. She said, for doing the Lord's work. So don't let your family control you. That's the point, Lord. Don't let your friends, even your best friend, will laugh at you and put you down. They want to belittle you because of who you are. I could have easily been sidelined. But the Lord is very powerful. I know He's with me. Just as He told Gideon, the Lord is with you. You are a mighty man of valor. Look at verse 16. And the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. Gideon is thinking, I am going to smite the Midianites. But stay tuned next week to part 5. And there's so many different points that I want to talk about right now before we get on with this Gideon's life and what happened. He said, go, thou mighty man of valor. Now there's 6 points that I'd like to use as a summary of Gideon. So, through Gideon's might, he was a humble man. He was a man of humility who took and gathered up what wheat he could and hid so that he could thresh it. He wasn't a boastful in Scripture. There's miracle after miracle after miracle right here in Scripture. Do you believe it? Or do you believe it's just a tale? It's your decision. I believe completely, without a doubt. I believe that Joshua was in the fish for 3 days and nights. Jonah. Do you think that that was fictional? No. Jonah was in the whale. And I believe that he was spit back out of the whale. I believe the Red Sea parted, that it split so the Israelites could escape the Egyptians. Yes. Absolutely. I believe it happened. And then Noah's Ark. But other people are shaky in their belief. But there have been artifacts that have been found, and people still doubt. But I believe that Jesus died on the cross, that it really happened. I believe that Jesus is alive. He knows. He is alive. That he conquered death. I believe the stories of the Bible. I believe that Jesus can take away your sins. He can remove them all. He can wash away your sins and forgive you. I believe it's real. I believe God created the earth. That there's no evolution from apes, fish. That God made the trees. He made everything. Everything. That's what Gideon believed. That's how strongly he believed in his heritage and what he knew it had happened with the Israelites prior to him. And number 4, that God would create a miracle. He knew it. That the Israelites would conquer and hold the land of Israel again. That Gideon, that he believed what the angel of the Lord was saying to him, that he took that information and told the Israelites what to do. So where's our lineage of leadership? What is it? Tell me. What's our guideline? Right here. This Bible, this word right here, as we look at it, as we read it, as we obey it, as in your heart, you gather the peace, right? It's a blessing. Don't dismiss the Bible. Because without it, it would be like Russia. Look at Cuba. The poverty there is ridiculous, and crime is very high. Yes, the border's open now with Cuba for the U.S. Now, the 6th point, that he was a man of weakness, the might of the weak. That's right. God's strength is perfect, made perfect in weakness. As Gideon was saying, I am the least in my family. And maybe you feel like that as well. You think, I'm weak. Yet God admonishes those. And it's amazing the results. If you're willing. If you're willing to follow God. And Gideon was exceptional that would have been it. Just like here in America, if we think America's dead, that there's not going to be any more America, it is done. If we think that's it, and we wash our hands of it and just Lord, no! It's not over. Until it's over, right? Until Jesus comes and raptures you and me. Keep going. Pray earnestly. Pray for the election. Pray for God's power that He will help His people. The story of the Israelites and Gideon is beautiful. This is part 4. But yet we're going to have part 5. That when we're accepting of the Lord and we ask Him to completely use us, there is might in that. Even if you're not popular. Even without being educated. It's your actions to do something for the Lord. What about Bobby? He's willing to pick up people for the Lord. What about the interpreter? Is willing. There's mightiness in yourself. What about our 15-year anniversary? It says, glory to God be the glory. And everybody came. We had over 150 people here. That's the might of yours. Amen? Look at that. It's wonderful. Can be done. Look at the Word of God. Look at this. Through the missionaries. Through the might of our giving. Of our time. It's called the might. Supporting the work of the missionaries. We have our own Hall of Fame here that we set up for all the missionaries that we support. You and I pay. Look. There's might in our giving. And there's valor in that for reaching people who can make so they can be saved. Last summer there were 7 people saved at the death camp. Yes, there's more work to be done, but it's worth it. Don't give up. I ask you now to please rise. Heavenly Father, I pray for the people here. That they be encouraged, not discouraged, and look to what they can't do. And think that they are the least, just as Gideon did. You look at your family lineage and you think, they're so impoverished, but yet he's a mighty man of valor and a man of strength. There's a great example, a proof that when we think that we're the least, and we think of our family heritage and the embarrassment that can come from it, that we are to be admonished from the Lord through that, even though it's happened. Just do it. Work for the Lord. Give your financial support and tell your friends, invite them. It's called the might of yours. Use us, Lord. I pray that the hearts here be open. There not be any fear and trepidation, that there be no doubt. Because you can